Hello and welcome to another edition of the panel head-to-head en route to the Cheltenham Festival 2025. It's myself, Dean Ryan, and of course Dermot Nolan is here. Dermot, how are you?
Hello, Dino. How's things, buddy?
I'm fine, thank you. Very somber week for racing. Perspective has been totally rained upon the sport once again. We've had some horrible tragedies in racing over the even recent years, but certainly over the time that me and you have been following the sport. And this one hits hard. Michael O'Sullivan, a fantastic young man, a fantastic jockey on rise to great things, and his life's been taken away doing something that he loved. Awful.
Awful. Yeah, no, you just remember all like Jack Tyner and a few more as well. It's just chronic. It's 24 years old. He was only getting going, particularly because he only turned pro when he was like 21. He went to college. He speaks a few languages and everything else. He very much was a young man who thought about every step. It's just very hard to swallow and very hard to kind of accept it all. It's life's very cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think every jockey needs to be thought about in the context of what's happened there, is that this is a hugely dangerous sport. There are not many sports where ambulances follow you round, and if they're not there, you can't actually do what you want to do. And it's there for a reason. This was a tragic accident, but they're brave souls, and they do it, and they give us the enjoyment every week. And something like this can happen, does happen, and it's horrible when it does. We are 3 and a bit weeks out, I think, from the Cheltenham Festival demo. We are supposed to find something else to nail our colours to for that event in March. So we will do that. What do you have for me this week?
Yeah, Dino, hard to even focus on any of it, but the lucky place for the Stayers Hurdle, it's a race where there's arguably one, maybe two horses who are genuine 3-mile hurdle grade 1 horses here. Teahupoo is definitely one of them, and I think the Home by Lee, we harsh not to call him one now.
He seems in
at this stage as well.
better form with himself this year, doesn't he, than ever before? That seems to be the vibe about Home by the Lee.
Yeah, they're the two. So Tony Keenan's big on him because he never looks sweet. Or Danny Mullins seemed to ride him, and everyone thought maybe Danny Mullins had knocked the tune out of him. But then at Christmas time, he JJ back on board, and JJ, man, he just travels sweetly. He's never ever done that before. He's not hitting that flat spot either. So he's definitely one because he's always had the talent. He's just that flat spot at Cheltenham never. It's a very hard mix. I know Big Buck's got away with it, but he was a different type of horse. But lucky place though. I think of all the other horses, I think Lucky Place is the other genuine horse who could turn into a grade 1 horse here. Last year he was 4th in the Coral Cup at Cheltenham. Now that form should be massively marked up because all of Nicky Henderson's horses, bar him, ran horrific races that week. He was the only one at all. That race has also worked out very well with the likes of Franciscan Rock back in 5th. He's rocked up and won some kind of big races this season. So that form is really strong. But then this season, he's kicked on. He won an Ascot Hurdle. And last time, he won a Relkeel Hurdle. He beat Gowl Road. He gave that horse £6. Gowl Road has come out since, and he's won the Cleeve at Cheltenham.
Yeah, Gowl Road is like the metronome of Stayers hurdlers. He's not quite grade 1, but he's just there. If you can finish in front of him, you've had a race. That's every single time. And he's always right on the number. So, okay.
He's like that horse he's like that boxer, you have to beat to kind of get the fight.
Yeah,
that's what he is. But I thought Gowl Road got to him jumping the last air, and then Lucky Place stopped idling and kind of ran on again. He he went from level to kind of a length again. He's a really good horse. The one question is staying, but to me, all of the races that he's kind of ran this season over 2.5 miles or so, he's looked like a horse who will stay. And at 9-1 or so, his form is really strong. He loves Cheltenham. And yeah, I just think at 9-1, Dean, where we don't know Teahupoo how he is really. It was a strange decision, I think, this season to run once. Last season was fine because he won so well. But this season he was stuffed. And then not to see him again was a strange call.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming in here, we've no idea at all. And Home by the Lee is a good horse, but he's beatable still, no matter how sweet he is in himself, especially at 10 years old. So I think lucky place for a trainer who has an awful lot of bullets this season, Nicky Henderson. He's a very big price at 9-1, I think,
Okay, 9-1 with our sponsor, of course, BetVictor, lucky place. They go Teahupoo, even money. Home by the Lee is 7-1. 12-1 the Wall Park, another one for Gordon. And then Dan's there. You give that any chance in the stayers at all, Demo? It's 16-1 with BetVictor.
Well, look, Dean, he is a spring horse. He doesn't come to form until he runs in the spring, so you really would have to give him a little bit of a chance there. But on his best form, of course, because that Coral Cup last season has worked out unbelievably well. So of course you would, but I think lucky place, considering how kind of close he got and was travelling in, kind of laid on, especially with the form from this season. I think I'd prefer him, but if he was to win, I wouldn't be shocked at all. No.
Sure, there'd be some dancing from Messrs Skelton and team if that comes up. I tell you, I will be putting Gowrold in my place spot on the day. Tell you that, because it's just the absolute guaranteed bomb-proof. Going to run a good number. Something will run a better number, though, you would imagine.
Yeah,
yeah.
Once his trainer doesn't run him now again, because his trainer loves running them about 400 times a season. So hopefully now he's kept for this anyway. Please God. Yeah.
You might find a couple of unmissable opportunities between now and, of course, the big day at Cheltenham. Okay, lucky place goes in for Diarmuid Nolan in the Stayers Hurdle. Fair enough. I'm going to throw one into the Fred Winter, the old Boodles, and it's trained by Joseph O'Brien. I think a lot of people were talking about Galileo Dame as potentially their horse for this race during the season, but looks very likely that'll go to the Triumph. One that caught my eyes, I was going back through the form, was Beyond Your Dreams, who's run into some good horses, actually quite an experienced soul from the level, not really reaching any great heights, rated at 70 odd or something like that. But what is interesting about this horse, I think, is that it's got form in the likes of Total Look when probably handbrake not totally off. That's what you want to think. Anyway, only rated 117, so the handicapper's got to give it a bit of tax to guarantee it will get a run. I'm sure they will do that, with it being Joseph O'Brien. And of course, he does like to go for this race. Brazil and Band of Outlaws would have been previous winners of his. I reckon it will go off a lot shorter than its current price. Best price in the village around is 16-1. And Total Look is in the market there, almost fine for favouritism with the French-trained Stencil, who I think Stencil's going to get a whack away after the East India Docks run. Even though it's well beaten, you'd be struggling to put that in much lower than a 127, 128, 129, maybe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So it's going to be high, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're looking at something's creeping in the bottom here.
And they've got Wax in Ireland too here. There's a load of horses who were being campaigned for this race, like Back in Alien and stuff like this, who... Back in Alien's 130-something now. Mercia, who is second to that horse, is the high one... sorry, she's 133 or something. The Irish handicapper has really hit them this season. So a horse in the low 120s here is a really nice thing.
I think we end up like 121, 122 with the tax.
That would be perfect.
That would be fine. Creeping in at the bottom, and 16-1 now will not be that on the day. You can guarantee that if this way to pitch up, because you can take the likes of a few of those out of the running. I'm not sure Mercia, Galileo Dame, even if they... Well, one of them will definitely go Triumph.
She's going Triumph anyway.
Yeah.
Dame is... I heard Joseph O'Brien during the week, and she's going there. Yeah.
It makes sense after the last day. So if that's what you're going to end up with, I think we're on a definite shortener, Beyond Your Dreams. And I fancy it'll have a huge chance. So that's where I'm going to go. 16-1 general was the best price. Put that in your notebooks now for the juvenile, for the Fred Winter at Cheltenham. And so we've added one more. We've a couple more weeks to go, Diarmuid, before we have to fire in our Ante Post Lucky 15. And, well, some good news for the week. We will be in attendance doing a daily show, so that will also happen. But for now, on a somber week for racing, we've added one more to the pot. We'll come back next week, hopefully a bit more rejuvenated. And, thoughts to all concerned with the passing of Michael O'Sullivan, who was, set for the top. Unfortunately, gone doing something that he loved. You've been watching the head-to-head. We'll see you next week.